stuff. And so casting this game will be yourself, Iocrestral, alongside Luxuria.
Hello, hello, and yes, we are into the third and fourth place playoff now, and what an intriguing draft coming through from both teams. We have Elite 8 just wanting to pick up that Batiste, and then you have 500 at first that is just, you know, constantly trying to show the world that Fortress is a thing in 2.9.1, although they kind of did fail terribly when they went up with their pickup going up against Impunity. But then again, I think they've got a point. Maybe as long as Cassandra can kind of decide what this Fortress wants to go for and not try to have, you know, a utility item like that of Storm Crown into Tension Bow, into Aftershock, and probably just decide on one. But coming through into this draft, I must say, I do agree with the desk. I like Elite 8's draft much, much better.
Yep, and we do see Official Hind chasing down Valvex up, then not that backing in that brush, and is going to land but Ordain the first blood. And they did manage to secure that middle outer triamp for themselves, where Cassandra went so very low, XL7 having to jump into the front lines there with Impale as well, and Official Hind able to steal some farm away on his way out. Might be up to get a bit more as he moves his way onto the tree, and there's going to be a scout trap damaging him a fair bit, but if he's able to steal this one away, he could have enough health to get out there alive. But no, XL7 coming back with a vengeance does land the Impale, and Cassandra going to be kept back. But meanwhile, up in the lane, Hanyeger's trading it out with the Vox, and by the look of the aftermath, I'm a bit confused. Did you catch what happened there?
Well, I'm not sure. Probably Official Hind went a little too deep, got taken down by Cassandra, maybe XL7, maybe. I'm not too sure. I was really focused on this lane as to whether Hanjeger or Revenger X would win in that trade-off. But Revenger X is taking 2 turret shots very much for nothing while trying to poke out Hanjeger while he was farming, and thus, you know, Hanjeger went into the afterburn, able to take out Revenger X, but of course, with the minions just turning aggro onto him, do manage to pick up Glaive as well. But I say it's very intriguing, very interesting, this particular draft. I mean, they are... Oh, another fight may just be happening right now.
Yeah, we saw XL7 missing the Impale, but he lands for Giphy and Bolt to push Anime Saving under that tower, getting him fairly low because of that. And there's going to be the afterburn into the Ordained. There's nowhere for Vox to run, and Hanyeger is going to be able to pick up that kill fairly easily, now making his way onto the turret. We could see another fairly early turret unless XL7 and Cassandra have something to say about it. He did land the triple stun, but gets taken down by the Arden, and Elite 8. So many kills going over to them so early on, and they're putting so much pressure and focus up in this lane.
Yep, Hanjeger
going very low, does get the afterburn back on Revenger X, and it'll be enough to get him out of the fight. Cassandra not able to find anything out of it, also going fairly low, and we see Official Hind just holding this lane for his team, waiting for Hanyeger's to get back there, but needs to be careful of the damage coming out from Revenger X. The Vanguard will help with that, help soften the blow. We do see Hanyeger's returning up to this lane. Meanwhile, Cassandra doing a good job to steal away some farm, taking use of the opportunity given to them.
Yep, and although a lot of pressure is coming through from the side of 500 first onto Elite 8, it is generally so because Elite 8 generally when they just go into team fights, they are relatively low, and thus 500 first is just making full advantage. I would think when walking through draft with the desk, I thought that 500 first would have just prioritized on that Celeste, but I guess the Celeste pickup was just for, you know, and trying to just counter the Saw coming through from Impunity in that previous game. Whereas now, we do see Revenger X not on that Celeste, but on this Vox, and doing relatively well against Hanyeger in this early game. But of course, the only reason the setup Elite 8 is winning out in a lot of these team fights, it's because of how weak Fortress is in this early game, and this first turret will fall.
Yeah, it falls. There's attack of the pack being popped from Cassandra, who does have their level 6 before anyone, so there's a bit of an advantage for them. However, they're not able to make any plays off the back of the XL, trying to get in a position to land the Impale as it comes back online. And they're pushing this minion wave back into the turret of Elite 8, but not going for anything after that. And I think you are quite right there that the Fortress early game just not being so strong, and he doesn't have the aftershock as of yet. Should be able to pick it up probably within the next shop, but it does mean they can't really push for any objectives, and with Elite 8 taking such an early turret against them, they're starting to get a bit of a lead of already 2k, as we see 13.1k in the pockets of Elite 8, seeing over to the 11.7 for the side of 500 first. So it isn't much, but we know these gold leads at the start we can kind of make predictions off the way things are going because of it.
Yep, and we did mention, I think it was yesterday, of how strong Aftershock is in this current meta. But just looking at draft itself, Reza is still open. Reza is a very good user of Aftershock, also is as well. There is no reason, to be completely honest, to just go on to the Fortress, but Anime Save Me popping that plus gets rooted.
Yeah, there's going to be attack of the pack used as well. Hunyega is going in with the afterburn to hit, but Vox not being targeted at all just yet, was able to put down a lot of damage. We'll have to back off there, but there's some shade as we see Official Hein coming up from behind the team, able to help them pick up the kill onto the Vox. They're now working on XL, who will have their Impale up in just a second. They might be able to escape using Give Me a Wall, trying to push back the enemy, but Cassandra on this Fortress really can't help save XL down in the bottom of the jungle here. As they get caught out, Cassandra are going to just be able to take away their healing tree and back off and continue farming up. So even though we saw 501st when pushing against that glaive, it got so turned around as soon as Official Hein made the movement up with the Fearsome Shade and really just disrupted the whole team fight.
Yep, Official behind definitely come in through with a very good Fearsome Shade and will be able to secure the immense gold payout for his team. Cassandra very, very low.
Yeah, they will be able to get the kill onto that of the Fortress and the Vox right after, and even pick up the ace off the back of that one. So that is going to be massive for the side of Elite 8 as they just took the gold mine, and they could look to take the second tier turret with this minion wave pushing in. So Elite 8 just gaining such a lead in such little time.
Yep, I mean, they are definitely showing 500 first, you know, who is boss and why you shouldn't pick up that Fortress.
Fountain used on the side of Elite 8, but trying to escape. There's going to be the Impale, and they managed to get the kill at least onto Batiste, but the attack and pack going to fade away. I don't think Cassandra can do too much more, doing a bit more damage than earlier at least with the aftershock now, and forcing Hunyegers to back. 500 first could look for a turret in return. Anime Save Me trying to hold off that minion wave, but it looks like the side of 500 first could be able to get this. The minions are gone, shield will start to regen, but ooh, it looks like it will be enough for 500 first to back off from the rest of Elite 8 to regroup. Hunyegers going in with the afterburn, jumping onto the Vox, doing so much damage, cleaving him, and there's going to be the Fountain popped on the side of 500 first, just trying to keep him alive. Batiste needs to be careful with that front line, taking a bit too much damage first to fall, but right after that Vox will fall in return, and Hunyegers fighting out with the Fortress is going to be able to pick up that kill and leaving XL7 on the lance, the last one left standing for 501st Elite 8, overall winning it out, being able to save their first turret still 9 minutes in.
500 first, or maybe just the Fortress itself, definitely do provide a lot of damage coming into this particular gameplay. We do see Official Hein constantly the first to go down, did not go for the utility build, which means he will be doing decent damage, but Hunyega is just a little too tanky, and on top of that, the 8% lifesteal coming through from the point shift and the mortal wound as well definitely will stun or just decrease the amount of healing that XL7 can put out with those Fountain, but Cassandra definitely putting in work with this Fortress.
Hunyegers is going to find that of Cassandra, who base checks the tri-bush, but Vox on the backline might be able to pick up the Batiste. Fearsome Shade is used, and the Fountain, it's not going to be enough to keep him alive, and Revenger X kiting out the enemy. He's able to pick up the double kill for himself. The Gauntlet will catch him out. They're now able to save Cassandra, and we do see Anime Save Me looking for something. Might fight to his last breath, but no, decides to run instead. I think he might have been able to give Revenger X a run for his money there with the blood for blood, but instead backing out is going to hand over the ace to 501st, and they will finally pick up the first turret for themselves. And you could see how this game really could turn around. And as I mentioned before, that I was expecting to see the real team play on the side of 501st be around that the Vox. It kind of is, but they're not hyper farming him. Vox is just doing well on his own.
Well, I mean, Vox, as we all know, Vox sitting now at 80 CS has got a tornado trigger, that shift, and that breaking point will be putting out a lot of damage with that attack speed. But what really is game changer, and it may not seem like it because he's judging on Cassandra's KDA, sitting at 3, 3, and 3. It is just quite difficult to say that, but another fight will just break out.
There's the wait for it, and it's going to go in 500 favor. There's going to be the fearsome shade to off, but the boots used right after it, and they're going to come right back with a very strong push into that of the side of Elite 8's jungle, taking away their sentry as well. Batiste, last one standing for Elite 8, and now opening a window for 501st to go for this gold miner. So this Fortress pick wasn't working out for them early game, but you can see how strong the engage is. They have such a strong front line right now. 501st just diving on the team comp of Elite 8 and taking it down with ease.
Yep, and we did see how Reza was able to just put pressure onto Fortress during the matchup between Elite 8 and Impunity, or rather 501st and Impunity, but that wasn't quite the case in this particular game because we all know Batiste really won that Shatterglass to put out enough damage, and I was expecting a little more aggression coming through from Elite 8 in that early game as well, especially with that Batiste. Your empowered bat mode will deal quite an amount of damage, but we did see what we all see and saw was basically Official Hind playing relatively passive, and in fact very, very passive. And now that Cassandra has got an aftershock, is putting out so much damage, and there is really nothing much that Official Hind can do at this point in time to stop him. Han Jaeger, yeah, you can jump into the backline, you can delete Revenger X with your Twisted Stroke and your Blood Sock, but that is just not enough because Cassandra is just putting in so much work with Attack of the Pack and even the Truth of Tooth as well. So maybe the side of Elite 8 has to rethink the strategy coming into this game, or it will just play into 501st hand. They had the early game advantage, but it's just not enough with Revenger X just scaling so well on this Vox. In fact, building defenses against Han Jaeger now, and it will just be so difficult for the side of Elite 8 if they do not prioritize in this mid-game when Han Jaeger and Official Hind is just so strong.
Yep, and we will see both teams preparing for a fight, always moving together, making sure no one gets caught out at this stage. Kraken's still not up on the fold, but you can see it's very important for both teams. It could really swing the battle. If Elite 8 win a fight, they could take the anchor turret, and with the side of 501st winning it, it's just going to push it more back in their favor. That they'll be managing to do so, almost catching up on the gold lead, which they will be able to if they win this fight. Attack of the Pack used the Impale, just securing the kill onto Anime Save Me, who this time, unlike Official Hind in a lot of these fights being the first to jump in on the front line, it was that Anime Save Me just tanking it up, and he got caught out. There's so much more damage coming out right now for the side of 501st, and it could really show as to why they decided to pick up this Fortress that we were all questioning. Aren't there better junglers at the moment? But 501st obviously have been practicing this, as we saw them try and play it into that of, I believe, tried to play into that of Impunity in the first matchup, and now we see the true power of it.
Yep, I would not say it's true power. Like I mentioned, it is just a lack of early aggression that allows Cassandra on this Fortress to just scale up so well into this coming late game, which we are approaching Elite 8.
Attack of the pack in to wait for it, and they manage to get the Giffian wall onto the Arden, stopping him from the initial gauntlet, but the second one lands. Batiste actually up to pick up a kill in this fight, but he will fall second to that. Cassandra left standing so low on how Phantom may save me going to pick that up, and that fight turned around for Elite 8. This is what they're looking for, with Kraken just up on the fold now, and they might have enough damage between them, Hunjagers and Anime Save Me, especially Hunjagers with the double Tyrant, Sorrow Blade, and Poison should pick up. They surely should be able to do this, even though Revenger up on the fold in another 3 seconds won't be anywhere near stopping this. Already has to focus on stopping the A-Stop minions pushing into that anchor turret. So Elite 8 are going to be able to get this, and they should be able to push it into the base, could even push it through for the win, depending on how it goes for them.
As for the win, I'll not be all too confident to say so, because we did see the engage coming through, and the only reason, you know, they kind of faltered, Official High was really caught out of position, and leaving Han Jaeger just be able to just attack from the backlines. And I know I say Official High and get caught out of position, and then I make another remark saying that Han Jaeger was just putting in so much damage from the backline, which is true.
There's going to be the fearsome shade already used so early in the fight. Ordain does catch out that box, and he's going to fall to the Batiste. And now we see a good Giffian wall trying to push back the team of Elite 8, but they're looking for Cassandra, but Ordain will pick them up if they choose to run. But Hun Jaeger is going to go in, sweep in, pick up the double kill with that afterburn. The ace going over to Elite 8, and that's the team
this
fight
time,
going over to Elite 8. As I said, they could go for the win. You were a bit unsure of whether they could do so, and you are right to think so, because 501st towards that, I'd say, early mid-game did have a bit of a comeback, but Elite 8 came back on board. They were able to chain their CCs correctly, as we see here once again, with the Kraken finishing off the Crystal, and they're able to pick up the box. There's the Gauntlet going down for good measure. They're going to be able to pick up the kills and the game. The first match going to Elite 8, but 501st almost had Elite 8 worried there with their mid to early game comeback.
Definitely. I mean, just looking at the team comp itself, you would think that, you know, constantly when Elite 8 or rather 501st are actually winning out those team fights, it is because Cassandra engaged with Attack of the Pack, leaving the entirety of Elite 8 to just run for their dear lives, else they have to fight with, you know, 3 more wolves just nibbling at their butts. And this is one thing that 501st should have just easily capitalized on. But for the side of Elite 8, I'm expecting a little more aggression to come through, especially if 501st is using this fortress.
Yep, and with that, I will bring Mini Mitre back on board to maybe add a bit more of what he thought could have changed up the match, what 501st could have done to one. And were you a bit surprised about this fortress actually being quite effective in the overall team comp coming up from 501st, Mini?
Yeah, it certainly was. I did not expect Fortress to actually deal anywhere near as much damage as he ended up doing around the mid-game. But the real win condition for Elite 8 was found out at the start of the game. They did it perfectly. And then later on in the game, they figured it out. If they killed Vox, they won the fight. Fortress is useless by himself. He deals almost no damage, whereas Batiste by himself can still get kills. Glaive by himself can still get kills. So all that Elite 8 had to do was kill Vox, leave Fortress alone, and then once they did that, the fight was won. In the team fights where Fortress managed to win the fight and for a 5-0 was that Vox stayed alive, Vox built up breaking point stacks, and then they couldn't win because Vox was alive, and that was it. So all they had to do was just dive in on Vox, all their CC on him, get that Ordained, punt him out of the Ordained, gets loads of stun chains, Gauntlet, trapping Vox inside with the Glaive with double crit items, and his B wasn't actually overdriven. I was surprised that Glaive didn't overdrive his B, giving you extra crit chance, going up from, I think it's 16% to 20% extra crit chance with Glaive overdriving Twisted Stroke. But it still worked out in the end. So much burst damage from the Glaive onto Vox. And so once Vox was dead, they won the fight. So I think Fortress shouldn't be picked by 501st because they tried it 3 times. It doesn't work that well, especially as Crystal Power, because he just doesn't have any damage. But without the draft is ready for the second game. So without further ado, let's head on into the draft.
Yes, and so jumping into this next draft, I'm very curious to see what the bans might be. I think for these first 2 bans at least will still be meta focused, and in their second bans, we could see a bit more priority into target bans.
Yeah, I think the Lance might be banned away now, maybe same with Arden. Oh, banning the Vox, that makes sense for side of Elite 8. They've played it last game, apparently they don't want to play it this game. Blackfeather immediately banned. They don't want to play against it, so just ban Blackfeather on B side is the most common ban at the moment.
Yep, but now with Rhyme not being banned out in those first 2 bans, will they decide to pick it up as the first pick? It is a bit risky to go for, as there's a fair bit of counterplay still around it, but it is a strong pick. Instead, they are going to go for that of the Grace. So rather than going for, say, an Arden that was still available on the table, and something we commonly see in that first pick spot for the blue side, they will pick up Grace instead. How do you feel about this?
Yeah, I think that's a very different pick to what we were expecting. Arden have picked up in return, but Grace can work really well as protecting a hyper carry. Arden can do a very similar idea. So these 2 heroes are very similar in terms of how they play, but Arden has a gauntlet, whereas Grace only has her Holy Nova to try and stun someone up. But then again, the Divine Intervention is so much bigger, so much more important in the team fight than a Vanguard. So I think both are going to build an Echo, both captains, pretty early on. Arden maybe 3rd item, get that double Vanguard or double Gauntlet. And so it's really just comfort, whichever you want to pick, be it the Grace or be it the Arden. And now there's lots of bans you could go for. There's nothing that necessarily needs to be banned. And so depending on what composition you want to run, you can ban something away from it. We saw Petal ban, we're seeing Attacker ban, which does suggest it's going to be a backline carry.
Yes, it could be a backline carry indeed. It could even be that of the Saw, but Saw would be quite immobile to that of a Grace, who could easily jump in there with the Benediction, land at the Holy Nova, because a good counter to Saw, in my opinion, is a lot of CC if you're able to chain it. That and a decent to mid late game. And there's going to be the Rhyme ban, knowing that it will be open for the side of 501st if they didn't ban it out second. So now looking for the second pick for 501st, what could it be? They're not going to go with that same comp, I would say. At least they don't have the Lance and the Fortress, so they probably don't have as strong of an engage. And instead, as you mentioned, a backline carry indeed, as they pick up the Celeste.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. You ban Taka, pick Celeste against that, because now they haven't got the Taka to go in. But there's still Reza, there's still Alpha, there's still lots of dive heroes available to try and just get rid of that Celeste. We know 501st love to play Celeste. Hasn't quite worked out for them so far, but they're going to try it again. That's going to be a weapon petal. I doubt it's Crystal Power, not knowing what the final jungler is. And we're going to see an Ozo to dive in onto that Celeste with a Grace ultimate. Ozo's going to be getting 4-digit heals if Grace gets a few levels and does that heal on Ozo.
Yep, and Ozo quite a difficult hero to stun out with that core collapse, and I think a lot of the time, even if mid bounce, he's able to finish the acro bounce to wherever the target was that is going to. So we will see what the side of, I think for 501st, for that jungler, or they could always put Celeste in the jungle, but I don't exactly advise it against Vavo. So they could go for a combat CC, but they're going to go for Cruel, which does have the From House Heart available to him, and might be able to work out to fight out the Ozo that's going to be jumping into the front lines.
Yeah, Cruel can work well against Ozo, can try and build up stacks, build up weakness stacks, make Ozo's damage much nullified. But Weapon Petal is really good against Celeste and really good against Cruel, because if you jump around, you try and dodge those Helios and do massive burst damage on Celeste, that'll be easy. If Cruel tries to dive you, have your trampoline away, you lay some seeds down, try and push him back with that explosion damage. And so I think the Cruel last pick was kind of we want to round out our composition with comfort picks as opposed to trying to counter, because Ozo is too mobile to really get many weakness stacks on. And similarly, you're not going to land Helios while Ozo's jumping around the fold. You're only going to land that core collapse on the third bounce, because you know Ozo's third bounce is going to be on top of your carry. And if it's not, then he deals massively reduced damage. So you can get the core collapse, just put it on yourself when Ozo's jumping towards you, and that should be fine. But apart from that, it's really hard, as you said, to play against this Ozo. I think the Gauntlet will work quite well, trying to lock him in place. But if he just blocks and jumps away, then you're in a bit of trouble. So I like the Ozo pick from Elite 8. I think it can work really well, especially with someone like Grace. And the weapon petal is going to be allowed to scale up because they're up against the Celeste.
Yeah, so both teams not too bad in this draft, but I think personally I am leaning towards that of 501st for this, just looking at the Celeste and hoping that Arden will be able to use that Vanguard in time to protect the Celeste from that third acro bounce, and then for Cruel to also just jump in them for them to chain their CCs overall. I think if that can come through, it will be very much a 501st game. But as you said, this weapon power pedal looking to be a bit of a threat as well.
Yeah, I think the weapon power battle is going to be a real struggle for 501st Legion. If Celeste is not able to outpoke the petal, then it's going to be disaster because she's going to be jumping in, basically killing Celeste before Cruel can do anything, before Arden can do anything. And if Petal just waits out the Vanguard, then jumps in, it will be pretty easy for Elite 8. Otherwise, I think 501st, as you said, have a great chance of taking this game and pushing it to a Game 3. Calls from Hell's Heart is really annoying to play against, especially as someone like Petal, because you want to dodge the engage, you want to jump away from the engage, then he throws that sword out. You haven't got a block already, because most Petals want to build 2 tier 3 items before they go into a reflex block. Then you're going to get shut down by the Call, maybe even double stunned by the Celeste. And if the Gauntlet traps you in, that's going to be disaster. But we are now loading into the House to Unfold for the second and possibly final game between Elite 8 and 501st Legion. So casting this game, it will be yourself, iRequest, and Luxuria.
Hello, and thank you for the analysis, Minimiter and iRequest Duo. And I wanted to open up with Curiosa and Curiosa because this is what the draft is coming out from both of these teams. We have Celeste that does relatively well against the Petal in the early game, even into the late game. And then you have Cruel that is being picked up to go up against an Ozo in the jungle. And that might work out because we all know Cruel, kings of 1v1, right? He is the king of 1v1. He's basically king of jungle if there is nothing around. But also does well when there are allies around or another enemy around because of the aggro bounce that you mentioned, Vinny. And it is just so difficult to just work around from Hell's Heart as well. So a lot of variables to actually consider here coming into this second game between Elite 8 and 501st. But I must agree with iRequest. I'm kind of leaning towards a 501st here in terms of draft. I mean, they have got a very good late game, but I do not count the Petal and Ozo out just yet.
Yeah, so we will have to see how it goes. Neither team really being aggressive right now. Revenge X down to the turret there, waiting for the lane to get pushed in now, putting down those Heliogenesis, and we do see that of the junglers, both respectively, going through their own jungles, clearing out the farm, as so there might be a bit of a rotation here by Anime Save Me Down. They do get caught out by that scout trap, but perhaps they were looking to rotate down to the outer treant to help the Ozo secure that one, but it will have to be fought out between Official Hein and Cassandra, as Official Hein going to start it. Cassandra waiting in the wings with the Shadows and Power Me going to run in, does get rooted, so in a bit of a bad position, but it looks like who's going to get that one. Official Hein does manage to get it on the Ozo. The Vanguard did come through for Cassandra, keeping them alive, but now they're caught in a 2v3 situation. Petal might be able to pick up the first kill as they find XL7 there, and it's going to go over to that of Ozo. The core collapse came through, but too late, and Arden going to get taken down for the first blood, going over to the side of Elite 8 at that.
Very good start for the side of Elite 8, and Cassandra just rushed in with his heroic perk just at the wrong time. Got stand out, and we do see the amount of damage onto Han Jaeger on this Petal that is not exactly a very mobile hero, taking a supernova into his face, and now Han Jaeger will be taken down. And yes, and very good start, I wanted to say earlier on, but now Revenger X is really finding the footing for himself as a Celeste. And I must say, like I mentioned before, you know, when I open up or when I just came in, it's that Celeste just does so well against that of Petal in the early late game or even into the late game. And we did see Han Jaeger just immediately get blown up, and now followed up by Anime Save Me as well, by Cassandra on this crew. As we all know, Cassandra and Revenger X, they are on their comfort heroes. Hanjager will be the next target. Will he be taken down? DMR is being used, but Cassandra will just back off into the high brush.
I think I requested you maybe having some connection issues. Gonna hop in, help you out for this game, like by yourself. And yeah, it's definitely a nice game so far for Elite 8, slightly ahead in the gold. Ozo was doing really well, taking away some of Rhyme's jungle, and as you were talking about that lane, it was just pretty simple for Ozo to steal jungle away. And I requested you, I believe you are back.
Yes, hopefully my connection remains stable as we saw a few more kills actually be rated over there. And right now both teams sitting fairly even for now. So, yeah, sorry about that. I do apologize.
But we do see they have, or rather the side of Elite 8 definitely have got a gold lead now. XL7 in a very dangerous position. Hanjager jumping into the trampoline, may be able to take down XL7. Official hide very, very deep in the turret. Anime Save Me will be the one taking the turret shot. But now Cassandra going in as well. Oh, this is a very messy fight. Acrobound able to pick up Arden, and the next target will most probably be Revenger X, but will be stunned out the entirety of Elite 8. A lot of damage onto Hanjager. Cassandra on the run and on the chase as well, but it will not be enough. Official Hind very relentless, will score the delayed ace for the side of Elite 8, but will go down to the second turret, and that will be Official Hind. But the first turret will definitely be taken down by Hanjager and Anime Save Me.
Yeah, iQuestionable is unable to fix his connection issues at the moment, so I'll jump in for the rest of this game alongside you. And then really continuing the nice start from Elite 8. They get the turret, they get some nice kills, but Hunjager's got bursted down so low. Thought he was going to go down, but not quite. Cassandra has got the tension bow power spike, but Hunjager's picking up that soul blade, walking through the shop is a nice big damage item for him. Now Avenger X trying to return the turret siege, and what is Hunjager's going to do? Is he going to just push the wave? Yeah, it doesn't look like he wants to be too aggressive fighting this Titan too much.
Yep, they wouldn't want to find any unnecessary fight with Official Hind on that. Also, actually picking up the aftershock for himself already will be putting out a lot of damage, whereas Revenger X constantly, you know, just at the feet of Official Hind, that little monkey, that little circus monkey, just able to just jump in so deep, taking a few turret shots, and with those aggro bounds with that fortified health, can really die Revenger X. And those core collapse that you were mentioning about, Mini, while you're...
We've got to hold that thought. Official Hind wants to jump in with that acrobat. As you said, stuns him out. Now Divine Defense can come through that. Is 600. Official Hind going back to full health, and Revenger X forced to port home. Official Hind's like, right, come on, let's take this sentry. I need one of you so I can jump around and take it out. This will be pretty easy. 3 aftershock procs on the Ozone sentries, just defeated for the first time this game. 7 minutes in, now Elite 8 could push for the gold mine and then try and force a fight.
Yep, Elite 8 definitely looking very strong now coming into this game. And as mentioned, Revenger X not very on point with those core collapse. Yes, she did land those that, you know, stand out the whole team earlier on when Elite 8 was trying to dive that turret for them. But, you know, those crucial ones when Official Hind is just diving onto you, it is fine to not build a reflex block, but you have to make sure you do land your skills. Official Hind going very deep.
And the Melzar is blocked, max range, boomerang, oh, and Official Hind's getting so much dead yet. This Ozo is surviving on a sliver of health, and that's bait. Petal's going to take the turret, Anime Save Me with the charm BM, and they get the turret, and now what are 5-0 first going to do? They're going to try and defend the more pushing from Elite 8, but Official Hind could keep going in. He's going to acrobats 1, 2, third bounce. He's going on to Revenger X. This is going in for 535 damage. As yet, Bangarang is going to connect to the stun fountain used, but it is not enough from Excel. And now Hunjager's doing the damage. Cassandra's going to go down, no question. Double for the double for the Petal, sorry. And Crystal Sentry is the next target. The MVP Hunjager's has had enough of the Crystal Sentry though. He wants Excel. Excel's taking a lot of damage from this Petal with the Soul Blade and a bit of attack speed and a tiny bit of crit. And I say he wants to get a stun, but he's going to be unable to do so. Petal's got to jump up already. Excel's going to go down. Delayed ace and a sentry. Elite 8 doing so well at the moment.
Yep, Elite 8 definitely doing very, very well for themselves at this point in time, and it's just so difficult. Although we mentioned a lot, and when Pato was really quite reigning the meta in 2.8, we constantly say that Celeste just does absolutely superbly against the Pato, but it's just not so in this case. Cassandra
he gets it!
And takes a gold mine. All that hard work for nothing for the side of Elite 8, but they will not be too annoyed. They are still in the gold lead, 21.5k gold over to 17.1k.
If I was Cassandra, I would have popped a little emote as I ran away from that gold mine, going back on anime. But well played, Cassandra, with the infusion and the tension bow proc. Pretty simple actually in the end, to just one basic to run away, steal the gold mine. Ozo is working towards his Dragon's Eye next item. He can almost afford it, another 60 gold, and he'll be able to do that. But it looks like Elite 8 want to fight without it because Ozo's going to run out of infusion. If he waited for Dragon's Eye, he wouldn't be infused. And now the Official Hind trying to be aggressive. He's waiting to bounce. And the Sentry, this is the elimination. Around 10 minutes in, a very quick elimination for the Sentry if Official Hind does continue with it. Third bounce is on the Sentry, so that is going to go down. And that is a massive objective that Elite 8 have eliminated from 5-0 first jungle. Cassandra's going to have a real tough time farming up, and that is going to be Grace. Going in, a little bit aggressive, but Official Hind and Jaegers are not with him, so they're going to back off.
Yep. From the start of the match itself, or not even the match, but the broadcast itself, we've been saying that we want to see an Ozo time and time again, and when we do see that Ozo, Official High definitely do coming in very, very strong. Call collapse used preemptively, trying to zone the entirety of Elite 8 out, but Anime Save Me going in deep.
Does miss the Holy Nova. Core collapse is down though. As you said, Official Hind might use a bit of healing. He's going low. Where's the ultimate from? She knows that Ozo is low. Could try and risk it, but I don't think she's going to. Ozo gonna just try and clear some farm away. And if Excel gets a flare onto Ozo, I reckon they could try and ult him, but no, he's gonna be able to port home in that bush, bit sneaky, and port home, get his infusion. Whereas Revenger X still not gonna get one. Has got a reflex block there. That's really good for Revenger X. He's in trouble with that bangarang. You cannot stun Ozo out of a bangarang. It takes way too much skill to get that. It's like, unless you've practiced it a ton, Ozo's just far too quick for your core collapse to really land on him. And so the reset block makes a lot of sense. Now, Grace has not got an echo. She's actually going towards maybe Contraption, maybe War Treads as the second item. Gonna be an engage. Anime Save Me. Waiting for that Holy Nova. Core collapse is down, but they do not know where Cruel is. He's in the top bush. Anime Save Me probably guesses Cruel's hiding somewhere, but he's also going to go low. Official High is going to face check, and there was a flare. He shouldn't have face checked, but the Crucible used a bit late on the gauntlet. Anime Save Me going to block his way out of it, and the Fountain Save keeps him alive now. Official High jumping in. Solar Storm comes through, and it's going to get the kill onto the Grace. Celeste going to do work, and the ultimate comes through from Grace, but it's not enough. Ozo goes down, Petal goes down. Disaster for Elite 8, and 5-0 first take the ace.
Yep, and that is just Anime Save Me taking a tad too much damage even before the fight broke out, and this wave will definitely be able to take the first tier turret down and cause quite a bit of damage onto the second tier. Anime Save Me coming in with the benediction manages to clear the wave in time, but now 500 first will go on for that gold mine, just trying to soften the gold lead that Elite 8 has over them. As long as Anime Save Me watch his positioning when he comes into team fights and do not take too much Helios damage, then Anime Save Me will be fine. But you know, the only reason it just went down too quickly was because Anime Save Me was unable to just frontline the amount of damage or just soak up the damage coming through from the side of 501st Legion. Looking over at Revenger X, he's sitting on a Frostburn, Eve of Harvest, and that Shatter Glass will be putting out a truckload of damage if those supernovas do land. And on top of that as well, Cassandra, infusions in the pocket, has got a full build now for a Cruel at least. That tension bow, that poison ship will be putting out relatively amount of damage, and on top of that has got a sustain.
There's a bangarang in as Revenger X is blocked. There's some Hell's Heart, not going to be blocked by Jaegers, but he's going to get intervention. So me more Revenger X. Holy Nova knocked. Fountain used by XL, and the gauntlet is going to be stopped by the wall, but Jaegers going to get killed onto Petal. He's going to jump away from Cassandra. Cassandra's going to fall. It's a double for Jaegers. He's going on a kill streak, and Ilzo jump around. He's going to dive in onto XL, but not going to go under the turret. Petal's going to push this tier 3 turret down, and Elite 8 with so much better of a fight, and they're going to go onto XL now. They want the ace. They get the ace. Petal gets a delayed triple kill, and Jaegers with the plays. I think that, as you said, as long as they don't get poked by Celeste before the fight starts, it's pretty simple for Elite 8. Jaeger's far too aggressive. He's just baiting, turning a trampoline away, and that is risky. That was so risky from Jaegers. He was standing 600 supernova damage. I mean, he's going to get this Triumph. Try and survive him up a little bit. Sentry is not there, so there's no reason for Elite 8 to back off unless they want to go to the shop. Jaeger's got about 2.5k, so and the Solar Storm, very interesting. Try and do a bit of damage, but Anime Sabi does body block it very nicely. And now Jaeger's going to build his final item, probably a Tyrant, maybe even another Tornado Trigger. Meanwhile, the Hellstar comes out, the fight is still going on. Jaeger's does buy the Tornado Trigger, he's going to come back into the fight, and Official High going to get that 620 heal. Bang, blocked up by the Crucible. Vendrix going to go down though, and so will the Petals. Celeste trades her life. Now what can Ozo do? He's 2 versus 2. Who's going to win this? Ozo is a master at 2v2 duels, but Rhyme is 1v1 king, and XL is going to be the target. Why focus the Crawl when you can focus the Captain? The Crawl's going to survive, there's no point trying it, and now Official High is like, nah, I can't do this, Crawl's too strong, I'm going to jump over the wall to my buddy and back away. So Celeste and Petal trading their lives, and Grace tries to steal that, doesn't quite get it, but there's a sentry, so Cassandra won't go any further. They could start the gold mine, but I don't think they will.
Yep, I don't think they will. They have got 10 seconds left. I doubt Crew have that damage to just take down the gold mine in 10 seconds. But we see just now, Han Jaeger was left unchecked. Divine Intervention was used on Official Hein when Official Hein was relatively healthy, and that is just not a good play coming through from Elite 8. I think in one of the team fights that actually scored a delayed or rather an ace for themselves was because Anime Save Me just concentrated the Divine Intervention onto Han Jaeger, and when Han Jaeger was low, just basically turning the team fight around. And Cassandra may not be a big threat right now. Revenger is.
Speaking of Cassandra, that is going to be Official Han jumping in on Cassandra Revenger final, but that is Ozo going solo. Official Han's second goal. Crawl gets the smite and is going to get the kill. Official Han's going to try and get X, but he's not going to be able to do so. Anime Sabi is going to go down. Not a good fight for Elite 8. Great fight for 5-0 first. Revenger X able to survive for so long. Official Hein will back and will be able to get away there. Nice sneaky place to pour home. But 5-0 first with a great fight are going to start this Kraken up.
Yep, it is a very, very good fight coming through from the side of 500 first. And what went wrong really for the fight? Like mentioned, Grace's Divine Intervention can turn the tides, and that wasn't used at all.
Official High is trying to do the plays. The play of the week last week from North America was an Ozo 1. Do an Ozo 1B. No question. No, there is a question. Official High's going to 2-3 ring set through the boat Kraken, and he's going to jump around trying to steal this Kraken away. But Official High doesn't quite have the damage or the defense to survive. He wanted the 1v3 Kraken steal, but doesn't quite get it.
Yep, he doesn't quite get it, but that is not quite the issue. 500 Fast now have got a man advantage. They can easily push in, especially with Revenger X on that Celeste. So much damage, so much poke coming through from those Heliogenesis. It will be quite difficult for the side of Elite 8 to just stop this Kraken push. They might just take one, if not then two turrets, but they can try to push in and try to push into the Vein Crystal if Revenger X have still got that energy, but without the clockwork, it might be difficult. Now Official Hein coming back, not a lot of burst coming through from this Circus Monkey as expected.
Yeah, I think that the Kraken will get 2 turrets and then 5-1 will back off. No, they're going holy, but there's a back away because there was a core collapse from Celeste. So now Ozo jumping around, trying to get this Kraken down low. I think Elite 8, yeah, they're not going to go too aggressive. That's a nice call, a nice Holy Nova from Grace just to force 5-0 first to back off. And I think they might not even get so. No, Ozo Bang is not going to quite reach less than time. It would have been locked anyway. 1 bounce, 2 bounce, 3rd bounce is not going to be used by Official Hein. Turret does go down, but Kraken will also fall. Elite 8 just baiting a bit of a fight to stop Revenger X sieging that turret down. This was a smart play.
Yep, it was a smart play, but now they have got more problems on their hand, and it's that Official Hein is starting to lose out in terms of damage against Revenger X and Cassandra. Initially in that team fight, in a lot of early team fights, what we are seeing and what we did see is that Revenger X just cannot survive from the 3rd bounce. The damage from the 3rd bounce was just too insane for Revenger X, but XL7 with those very clutch Vanguards constantly just keeping Revenger X alive, healthy with those health barrier. But now Official Hein may be the target.
There can be the core cap into from Hellstar. Official Hein's going to go low, but he healing up the Petal, but the mortal wound reduces that, and now it's going to be a stun out of the gauntlet, but Ozo's 1v3ing, but there's a crawl. He's not going to have any chance of getting a kill. Anime said he's not even using war treads to try and keep his team alive. And once again, 501st taking such good fights. I was going to question, what is Revendrex doing building Metal Jacket against as Celeste? You generally go 4 damage items, but he's gone for 3, and Anime said he's going to try and run away, but 20 seconds he has to survive. He's just making sure that 501st can't win the game, because at the moment, it looks like they might be able to. They're just winning the fights, they're going to get the ace, and that is a very delayed death timer for Anime Save Me. I think 501st will try and push, but they were not going to get too much out of this. They might start up the Kraken.
Yep, Kraken isn't up just yet for the side of 501st, but will be up very, very soon. Hans Jäger constantly the first to go down and is just so very squishy, and Cassandra definitely finding his mark with those smites and those stacks as well. On to Official Hind. Official Hind was a threat, but then they cannot burst Official Hind down. So what can they do? Cruel just basically just stack those Spectral Smite and just make Official Hind basically useless and put out close to 0 damage in a lot of team fights, and while Revenger X just concentrate, you know, her firepower onto Hans Jäger, just taking Hans Jäger down so very quickly. And you know, like I mentioned earlier on in the previous team fight, in this team fight, maybe they are looking for a steal. Cassandra.
Yeah, there's going to be a team. There's going to be a steal attempt. Anime Sebi's going to go in. It's going to be taken by the Crawl, and now there's going to be a team fight. Cassandra's going very low. He's going to go down. Gauntlet did stun 2 members, and I'm going to have the Echo available now. I'm going to use it, and their Gauntlet is set available 900 again on this Ozo, but Kraken is the target for Elite 8. If Avenger X comes near, they're going to switch focus. XL going to be jumped on. Second bounce, third bounce does go onto the Arden, and it splashes onto Avenger X. Ozo's going to get the kill onto Arden. He blocks out the Gauntlet. He wants to go further. Ozo doesn't care. He's bouncing on the minion. He's going to bounce onto Avenger X, but Kraken, meanwhile, is bearing down, but they don't care. Elite 8 going to win the game if they get this ace. They have the damage. They have no minions, but if they can kill Avenger X, they win the game. If not, Kraken is pushing down. Bouncing used. Official Hind's diving under 2 toes. He jumps. He gets stunned, but he does not block it. Avenger X is making the place. He's going to get the kill onto Ozo, and Avenger X does fall, but will Hunyegas to the turret? No! He survives with the ultimate. Hunyegas is alive. They're both going to port home. They somehow don't win nor lose the game. They're going to back to the Kraken. What insane plays at the end there.
Yep, Official Hind just not able to sustain through all that damage. Fountain pop a little too early for Official Hind. Official Hind was very, very healthy then when he jumped in, but yet, you know, the early fountain definitely caused something, but I don't think it would be too much of a bugger for Official Hind, as we can tell, as long as Cassandra is out of the team fights, as long as Cassandra do not have stacks on Official Hind do have damage. And one of the big mistakes I saw coming through from this Ozo really is the lack of use on that aggro bounce. Aggro bounce really has to work when, you know, you have things around you. And if Ozo can die, but then if there is nothing for Ozo to jump on, it would be a very, very bad dive. And although there were like enemy minions on the fold, Ozo did not fully capitalize.
Watch it used by Elite 8, and they're going to go onto Avenger X. They know the split. They're now focusing on Cassandra, but Avenger X is safe behind. What are you going to do? Solar Storm does not do anything but a stun. Knock up on out of the Gauntlet, and XL can use Echo and will echo that Gauntlet. So he's going to wait as long as possible until tapping that Echo. I hope he doesn't forget it. He can echo the Gauntlet, XL. Please remember that, because it will really turn the fight if they do it. And Hunyegas is going for the back door, it looks like. Maybe they're just going to try and hide and fight. There's no sentry. So first, they think they're on Kraken. They do not know Revenger X could be in a really bad position here, Luxuria. What is Elite? Don't put home. What is the call? Who's going to put? Who's going to go first? Is it going to be that Elite 8, are they going to be the first team to run away? They are. Looks like they're going to try and catch out 5-0 first, but there's a scout trap. Revenger X knows where they are. What is going to be the play? They're at swap sides, and there's going to be a bit of poke, but no one's going to land it. Celeste not landing these Helios. Cassandra's just waiting on the edge of the bush. One Helio does land. The teams are split. Elite 8 can just push for the win, but so can 5-0 first. Only one turret remaining for Elite 8. What is the call? Who's going to go in? Who's going to back off? Arden has got the Gauntlet. He used his Echo. He was a bit scared to wait any longer and did pop it. Now, Anosebi going to go in. That's going to be the engage. Holy never does miss, which could be the call for 5-0 first to try and turn it around. And Cassandra is going to jump onto the Petal. That means Ozo's jumping onto Celeste, but she's going to get stunned out of it. 776 damage thanks to Mortal Wound. Sorry, 700 heal. And the Fountain comes through. And another 1000 heal onto the Ozo. Cassandra is going to be standing in the bush waiting to try and get that passive up, and there's loads of damage going to come through Bangarang, and Celeste gets the first kill onto the pedestal. Excel's going to go quite low, and Visual Hand's going to go low as well. Can he sustain through this? No, he cannot. It looks like 5-0 first. They're going to take this unless Anime Save Me can do a massive bait. He can just run away from Kraken, make them not get the ace, not get the Kraken, and not get the game, but it doesn't look likely. He's Grace, so he's quick, but he's up against School, up against Arden, up against Celeste. They're going to get the kill, and it looks like 5-0 first might take this unless they go for Kraken, in which case Elite will have another chance.
Yep, I don't think they will be as... I don't want to say stupid to go for the Kraken, but hey, anything might happen. But the side of Elite 8 could have just backdoored, could have just won the game for themselves, but they were just too afraid. They tried to catch them out. Anime Save Me didn't quite have any flash then, and there was no vision set on the fold as well. And 5-0 first will push this into the game of 3. Very well played, coming out from Cassandra, absolutely knowing who to target, immediately jumping onto Hanjäger. Hanjäger did use the trampoline away in the initial first part of the team fight, but was forced to grab back into the team fight when Official Hein on that also just jumped in, as with Anime Save Me as well. Very well played to both Elite 8